Hey, it's Barney and Mike. What are you doing
I'm hanging out.
in Vegas?
Hanging out in Vegas, yeah.
Hookers and blow, man. Just that's all you need to know.
Oh man.
If only. I actually have. I don't like Vegas anymore. I could never go back there and be just fine for the rest of my life.
I agree 100% with you. Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, okay. We're gonna think tank something tonight since it's late at night when we're recording this, but this whole baseball card Hall of Fame. Where do you land on that? Good idea, bad idea?
It's an incredible idea, and it's something that I think more people need to get behind and more importantly, understand. We're not talking about the most valuable cards or the most popular players. We're talking about iconic cards in the hobby and the history of the hobby. And yes, there should be modern players in there, but it takes time. There's such a rich history of cards that we need to honor uh, those cards. I think first, and I'm excited about this year's ballot, and I don't want to let anything out, let the cat out of the bag. But I'm really excited because it's many years in now, and it's still incredibly exciting the cards that I see on the ballot. So completely pumped.
Yeah, I think it's the seventh year. This is the seventh time I'll be voting. We're gonna actually do my vote here on this show. We're gonna think tank through my ballot, and I'll tell you why I'm gonna vote for who I'm gonna vote for. And I thought, it'd be cool if you and I did this, but why not bring on a founder of the Baseball Card Hall of Fame? I mean, it'll be his debut on Hobby Think Tank, and it's none other than Ray from Philly. Ray, what's up?
Hey guys, what's going on?
There is too much Philadelphia surrounding there. So if I throw up a few times, it'll just be, don't worry about it. I'll come back. Um,
How many Texas Rangers are on this ballot, Ray? Probably not a lot, right?
Texas Rangers?
all of Nolan Ryan's cards are already in the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. So,
As a
um,
Met, right?
well, look, guys, I want to throw this out there to you, everybody watching. If you don't know what this is, if you're not participating in this, there's going to be a link down below to the ballot. You can go do it yourself. Or really, how many ballots did you guys get last year, Ray?
About 319.
300 plus. That's pretty impressive, actually. There's no reason that shouldn't be over 1,000, though, right? Of
Right.
people vote for what they think are the greatest cards of all time. And being the seventh year, there's an ample amount of cards already in the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. I will also put the link to the website so that you can go, or is it a spreadsheet? I can't remember, Ray.
The ballot is a link for a Google Docs page.
But how do they know
And
what cards are already in it? Like if it's their first time
yeah,
and they don't see a 52 manual and they're like, why isn't
right.
that card on here?
So on the video, there's two links. One is for the ballot to vote, and the other one is a spreadsheet that shows all the cards that have been inducted since the first class of 2018.
2018. I was but a wee little lad back in 2018. Um, that is awesome that you've been doing this long. And first of all, appreciate all the work that you and the team of the Sports Card Hall of Fame group, Mike and Victor and Bart and Scott, and there's so many guys that are all involved in it now. It's really grown a lot. Are you happy with how many people participate? Do you love that people enjoy this?
Yeah. First of all, I really like the backdrop where Barney is at. That's are you in
It's the Ra-
Arizona or
it's the
like
Raiders right there, buddy.
oh, okay. Well, no, no, it's been fun so far. The collab first 2 years that Mike and Vic, or first they were on for 3 years. Um, they've since moved on. I should have mentioned that in the beginning of the video. It's just me doing the baseball card Hall of Fame now. But Scott and Bart still do the football card Hall of Fame. Um, schedule conflicts wouldn't help, help them in continuing to do the baseball, which I totally understood, and I appreciate all the hard work they did for years 4, 5, and 6. So I want to thank them for that. And so yeah, the first 3 years I did it myself. Years 4, 5, and 6, it was the three of us doing it. So you know, the first year coming up in year number 4, coming up with that ballot, we really couldn't listen to the people because we had to get it started somewhere. Like, you have to have a beginning. So the three of us talked about, like, all right, this ballot, we got to come up with the ballot. And then after the first year, the top 10 cards get voted in, and the bottom 5 are bumped off. So that leaves 15 openings, which now that leaves 15 openings for the people to let me know, what they suggest they want to have on the ballot. So now it's definitely a voice of the people, because now they're telling me or suggesting to me, hey, here's an idea for next year's ballot. Just a thought, put that in if you can. I've gotten so many suggestions already this year. So and that's where my whole attention was I really want something for the people that this is their Hall of Fame. This isn't mine. Of course, the first year, when me, Mike, and Vic picked the ballot, we had to start it somewhere with putting 40 names on there. But since then, it's just 15 new a year. It's like 45 new cards been added to the ballot in the past 3 years, all because of what people have suggested, which I think is really awesome.
I love it. I know that just a couple weeks ago, John and I had the opportunity to buy a collection full of all Hall of Fame cards, like baseball card Hall of Fame cards. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to do my ballot. And so I'm going to bring up, this is what the ballot looks like. You guys can see starting at the top, you can vote for up to 10 channels, right?
Yeah, up to not
10,
channels, cards.
YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. This is
the different Hall of Fame.
different Hall of Fame, my bad.
10 cards,
yeah, that one's more controversial.
Have you seen it gravitating more to pre-war now that you've inducted quite a few vintage era cards?
Yeah, the initial thought in year number 4 was to try and spread it out to get, old, somewhat old, and then some modern. And the modern was directed and geared towards the younger people, that they were somewhat more familiar with. I don't know, Miguel Cabrera, Pujols type, Jeter, that sort of thing. This year, though, since I'm doing it myself, the 15 cards that I added this year were geared more towards older, because, like, for example, the Christy Mathewson Cracker Jack card, that's the first year on the ballot. I mean, I wasn't born when that card came out in 1914, but I knew about it when I first started collecting in 1979. So my thought process now is the younger generation, I want them to know more about the vintage cards. And I wasn't going to just cater or focus to, all right, you know what, let's put Trouts and Pujols and all those. Not that they don't deserve to get in. Someday they do. But I felt like I just had a hard time putting some of the more modern stuff in there over, like, the Mathewsons and the Hornsbys and Cobbs and things like that, that I think in due time, those more newer cards, will have their place in history. So this year, when I added to 15 new cards, I kind of geared myself towards more of the older stuff, and hopes that, the younger kids out there, 25 and younger, 20 and younger, will give a chance now. Hey, let me look at this card. Let me study it. Let me research it. And there you have it.
Well, as you're doing the press junket for the ballot this year, you're going to not find two more agreeable people to putting older cards on the ballot than me and John, probably. Of saying yes, cater to the older stuff.
Right.
So let's get into this ballot, because I think it's a fascinating choices. And I'll ask you questions as we go along.
Yep.
Y'all are going to think I'm really weird, but I'm going to the very bottom, because my first vote is going to be the 1990 Upper Deck auto for Reggie Jackson. It's the first autograph card ever inserted in packs. and that just kind of needs to be in the Hall of Fame. It literally launched an entire change in the hobby, right? This concept, this idea. And so anytime you change the hobby, I think you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame from a card standpoint.
Agreed.
And beyond that, we're going to keep going back because none of this, I'm kind of teetering on the Seaver thing. That's a great card. The Wilson Franks is 100% getting my vote. Which player is Mantle represented the most in the Sports Card Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he's got 4 cards in there now, and one of the rules is that a player can't have more than 5 cards in the Hall of Fame, because then it would just be bombarded with all Mantles and Aarons and so forth and so on. People have already been making suggestions to me that maybe I might want to increase that, which I might, because example of like Mantle just has so many great and iconic cards. To limit to 5 might be increased, but right now he has 4 in there. He has the, of course, 51 Bowman, 52 Tops, 56 Tops, and 53 Tops. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm not voting for the 53 Bowman color Mickey Mantle, because if with the rule of 5, it's a split vote for me. I wouldn't be able to decide between this or the 54 Bowman, which I think is
And
a pretty sexy card, right? So I'm reluctant to vote at all.
Suggestions. Yeah, that's been getting message to me suggesting to add that for next year's ballot.
John, what do you think about my vote for Reggie first?
Yeah, I mean that's a card that changed the game, and it changed the way a lot of people hobby. So iconic player, but more importantly, I think it's an iconic card because of it said it just in the like we say in business, it's a different vertical that now people have adopted, and most people or many people like yourselves are diehard auto collectors, and it kind of changed the game. I think it I'm not a big auto collector, but I really think it changed the game, and autos became big business after that.
For sure.
Interesting tidbit though about that card. This card was on the ballot in 2022, and it was in the bottom 5 and got bumped off. So it was off the ballot for 2023. I put it back on this year. I didn't have a certain rule as to how many years I was going to keep a card off a ballot when it got bumped off. If it was going to be 1, 2, or 5, but I decided I'm just going to keep a card off 1 year and put it back on. If it gets bumped off again, I'll give it a longer time for a third time to get on, maybe 5 years. And if it gets bumped the third time, then definitely it's not ever coming back on. But this is a returnee from the 2022 ballot.
Love it.
Do you think that's because it was Reggie? Not that Reggie's not polarizing, but do you think people saw it as a Reggie card and didn't understand the history?
I think it was the ballot that year was really great. There was a lot of cards on that ballot that year in 22 that were just, but to be in the bottom 5, yeah, I don't, maybe, I can't answer that as to why it was. I could see it not getting in, but it was in the bottom 5. It did not well that year. I would agree that it should be, and that's why it's on the ballot. It's the first chase card. It started the autograph generation on cards. So yeah.
What about my Ted Williams vote? John, what do you think?
I did not vote for the Wiener card, and that may be. I just think that there's other candidates, right? People love those cards, right? Flying hot dogs, all that stuff. I did not vote for that.
Satchel Paige is for sure getting my vote. I know his Leaf card, I think, is already in. Is that right, Red?
He has 2 cards in, the Leaf and his 53 Tops.
Okay.
Would he be the first player to sweep if this card gets in? I mean, is that all 3 of his cards?
I think that is all 3 of his cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. He would have a clean sweep.
I'm going to go with the Dizzy Dean rookie, 33 Gowdy.
Love that card.
Seen a few of those recently. I'm 100% going for the Walter Johnson portrait. Absolutely. If I had to choose, I'm kind of like the Ramley's such an iconic card, but I feel like people wouldn't know how rare and unbelievably stunning in person a Ramley card is unless you've seen one, because they are so gorgeous. They're art. I mean, if you did fine art in a baseball card, it would look like a Ramley.
I mean, I think about that's a 100-year-old card, over 100 years old, and the artwork on that in over 100 years ago is pretty,
the Art Deco.
pretty amazing.
It's pretty awesome.
Let me ask you a question about. Let me ask you a question about that card. Other than give me two of Walter Johnson's nicknames, is that a photo right there?
It
Or
is.
is that it? How many cards in that era were depicting photos? I know the old judges and all that stuff, and I know the stuff in the 20s, but it's an interesting time in cards as well when there weren't a lot of photos on cards.
Yeah, I mean, you have the same time frame. You have the T206s, which were renderings, right? So, I mean, they're based on photos. In fact, they looked very eerily similar. Walter Johnson didn't change very much. He had the same pose all the time. But I'm gonna go with the T206, Walter Johnson. The caramel's an interesting. I have to. Oh, Lou Gehrig, of course, gets every vote for me.
Rookie card.
That would probably be the first exhibit that would get inducted.
Yeah, Dr. Beckett asked me that last night, and I said this would be the first exhibit if it gets in.
Which I think, it's a Lou Gehrig and it's a Lou Gehrig rookie and it's an early exhibit. I think that definitely checks a lot of boxes.
Did you vote for that one?
No,
Barney?
no.
Have we voted for any of the same cards yet?
No, I mean you're not asking me who I voted for. You're just telling the world who you're voting for. I'll just
No, I'm
wait
asking.
here.
I'm asking you now.
I did not vote for it. You're not asking me who I didn't. I did not vote for that one.
Have you voted for any cards? Did your ballot contain any cards that I have voted for to this point?
Your Honor, I'm being badgered, and the answer is no.
Okay.
No.
Maybe John.
Oh, wait. I did vote for the Reggie.
Okay.
Philadelphia's own Reggie Jackson.
Let's
A
see.
lot of Philadelphians on this ballot, by the way.
2, 3, 4, 5. I think I voted for 6. I'm going to go with Tom Seaver.
That
Nice.
I voted for. I obviously everybody loves the 68, but the 67 is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, if I did choose more iconic in the hobby, it's 67.
That's a high number, I think, which also tells the story, right? It's
Right.
part of the history of cards.
This is going to be weird, but I'm going to vote for the Menko.
Nice.
Where does that put me? Oh, I'm so torn now about what to do.
You peaked too soon, man.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm at 8,
12.
so I got 2 more votes. So nothing there is going to get it. Nothing here now. I'm at 8.
I like the Menko Sadahara O card.
I'm going to go Josh Gibson, number 9.
Yeah. The Sadahara O is to me is in line with that Gibson, because players that never played in the majors, they're foreign cards, Tolateros, Menko, for guys that were great players. He's trying to give him some acknowledgement. I mean, Gibson
Were Tolateros made in Cuba or in?
I don't know if Mexico or Cuba. I'm not sure.
I don't know either.
Very rare. Very rare.
And I'm going to give the nod to Jimmy Fox.
Sweet.
There's my 10. So, all right, John, who did you vote
for? I voted for the 1909 Ramley Walter Johnson.
Okay.
I think that is. I couldn't believe that it wasn't in yet. Dr. Jim is right. There's an awful lot of T206s in right now.
You got me to change my
Yeah.
vote. You just convinced me. Okay.
Well, I mean, it stands, that set stands alone, right? It's kind of like the Cracker Jack set, where I think the Cracker Jack is more stunning, but it's a unique set in that era, and there's a lot of intricacy to that card. Are those, I guess, those are blank backs, or maybe they're not blank. The Ramleys, are they blank backs?
I don't
Not
know.
sure.
Anyway, the front of the card's stunning, and like I said, I want to believe that that's a portrait, an actual photograph, which is unique. And I mean, I don't need to explain Ramleys. Ramleys are pretty wild. Uh, then I voted for. Here I am, completely ignoring my previous statement. I did vote for the Tris speaker.
Okay.
I think that's. I like the card. I just like the card. I like the colors. Tris Speaker is somebody that I've had to come to terms with as one of baseball greats due to his past. But you know, the more that comes out about him, the more I've softened my stance against Tris Speaker. But second best dead ball player, maybe somewhere around that. And let's get back to old Barney Johnson. By the way, one of the few pitchers that had any kind of success in the dead ball and the live ball era. So just a little shout out to old Walter Barney Johnson. Next vote, hey, at T206. I am as long as I've been in the hobby, I shouldn't say as long as I've been an avid hobbyist, the Sherry McGee has been a mythical card due to the error. I almost bought the non-error this past weekend in Strongsville. So I'm a big fan of the Sherry McGee error card, because I think that that's been one of those things for over 40 years that's been iconic to me, not just because he's a Philadelphia Phillies, but it was one of those. It's been an iconic card. I did not vote for the Christy Mathewson. I love the Cracker Jack. I own a 1915, and like I said, it's a beautiful card and a beautiful set.
Well, you own the Keating, right?
I own the Ray Keating. Is there
Mhm.
a Cracker Jack in there already? I assume is
Yeah.
Cobb in there?
Yeah.
Or
Two
Joe
cards.
Jackson? Joe
Ty
Jackson?
Cobb and Shoeless Joe. Yeah.
Jewish
Yeah.
Joe, of course. Yeah, yeah. I don't. When I think of that Cracker Jack, I don't think of Christie Mathewson. So that's why I did not vote for that. So apologies
It's
to
a great
all.
card, though. Like, that's
It
the
is.
funny thing. All these are, I would own all of these and be thrilled. This would be a great collection if I only owned all these cards on
Oh
this
yeah.
year's ballot, right?
Yep.
All right, keep
Uh,
going.
I voted for the 33 county Jimmy Fox. I felt like I needed my eyes checked a couple weeks last week. I thought I was seeing double, triple, quadruple, maybe five, because there was a lot of those floating around. I take that over the Dizzy Dean for sure. No offense to Dizzy Dean, but like I think there's a lot of great 33 Gaudy cards, but the Jimmy Fox one is one of those iconic ones. They misspelled his name, so
Yeah. He's got two cards in that set. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So same pose and same but they misspelled his name for many years after that too. The Greenberg is a tough one, because that
I love
certainly
the Greenberg.
deserves to get in, but I'm not voting for it. The Ted Williams is great, but I'm not voting for it. The Satchel's great. I'm not voting for it.
Hmm.
The Campanella is great. I'm not voting for it. Something happened here where I accidentally hit the Josh Gibson one. Not voting for Campy, not voting for Warren Spahn, not voting for Josh Gibson. The Tolateros, I mean, any of us grow up thinking that that was a more iconic card than some of the other cards that are on here. I'm not sure. I mean, I absolutely appreciate the spirit of it being in here, but you know, it's not something that I kind of grew up thinking about as a hobbyist. Now, the 52 Andy Pafko, that's a slam dunk in my opinion. Card number one, and it's as is the I mean, I assume the Eddie Matthews is in there, right? The 52 Eddie Matthews.
Yeah. It was voted in 2022.
Yeah, so I mean, this to me is just as important. Obviously, Pafko's not in the Hall of Fame, but the first Topps card that we all consider from the real first set. I think that that's amazing, and I love my beater that I got from you, Mike. My card number one. So yeah, Mickey, I told you there. The 54 Bowman I love as well. So I'm
Let me put that
stuck
down
on
on my
that.
suggestion list.
What's that?
The
Oh, the
54
Bowman.
Bowman man, I've already gotten that suggested too.
Is the Ted? Did the Ted get in recently? The 54 Bowman Ted. That got
54
in last
Bowman,
year, probably.
54 Bowman. Ted got in 22, 2 years ago.
Okay, gotcha. Ted. Ted is that the only card, or is his rookie in there? Is his 39 rookie
His
in there?
39 play ball got in 2020. He has 2 cards in there. The
Okay.
Bowman, 54 Bowman, and 39 play ball.
I voted for the Brooks Robinson because I do think that that's a card that people. There's a couple Hall of Famers in that set, and Brooks is one of those guys. Would you find, Mike or Ray? Would you see, not value, but I think that that's more appealing to collectors than the Drysdale or the Frank Robinson. I think people go after that more than they do the other ones. Maybe
I
I'm
would say
wrong, but
Frank and Brooks are 1 and 2.
Yeah.
are they? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Frank might be worth more. Maybe I could be wrong, but I think the Brooks Robinson one is definitely. I use the word iconic. I think that that's. I do appreciate that card, and obviously we all joke about the 58 Brooks, which makes the 57 all that much better. So
I've gotten a suggestion to add that the 58.
yeah, great. They should go in together. It's a shame that they're not going in together, but
That and the
yeah,
Don Mossy.
Every Don Mossy. Paul Richards, right? The 51 Bowman. Paul Richards is another one. Maybe I'll do the Bizarro Baseball Card Hall of Fame, and I'll start putting those in. 67 Seaver for sure. Again, I think for a rookie card. I think it's especially a 60s rookie card. I think it's a good looking card. I did not vote for Steve from Mars, Carlton, for some reason. I don't know why, but I voted for the 84 Fleer update, Roger Clemens. I think that was a very hot card back in the day. It's an update, which also makes it a little unique. And Clemens was the best pitcher of the 80s, especially the latter half of the 80s. And I voted for the Bowman Mariano Rivera because I think that is an iconic card for a couple reasons. Obviously, Rivera doesn't need any explanation in his career, but that card has been talked about an awful lot. Yeah, it's been talked about a lot. And I got to say one thing again, people. I think there's 10 modern cards in the hall right now, and more cards will get in as they earn that recognition. But I'm not afraid to put modern cards in, but they also have to be iconic, and I think that this Rivera is definitely iconic. So.
Well, it's weird. I wore that same outfit to work today, so
I'm sure you did, man. 6. I think I got them all. 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 for me. So
right.
yeah, I mean, I think the Ichiro and the Pujols is definitely going to be on the ballot for a while. But yeah, there's a couple modern cards in there. Actually, I voted for 3, which is odd, but I think that those cards stand out amongst their peers.
Question: do you guys have any suggestions of cards that you'd like to see on the ballot? Besides of course, you mentioned the 54 Bowman mantle. As you were going through this,
I can't remember. Are the Ginters? Which Allen and Ginters are in? Is the
King Kelly's in there?
King
probably,
Kelly's in there. Goodwin Champions, 1888.
What about Cap Anson? The Cap Ansons and
no, that's a suggestion that I'm putting on for next year. Cap Anson.
Add that to my I'll put that in the suggestion box as well.
Okay.
Calling for a ban of Cap Anson from the Baseball Hall of Fame.
You know what else should be in there on your list is this one right here. This Frank Frisch.
That just came in. Yeah, that just first time I ever saw one of those was not too long ago. I do have a weird one, and it's not just because I'm a 70s guy, and it's not Herb Washington, although he deserves to be in. I think, Ray, I don't know whether you remember.
Nice.
There you go.
I love that.
That's a great, that Hack Wilson.
I need that.
The Bump Wilson error card, or the Bump
Wills.
Bump Wills error card, I think, was a very interesting card back in the day, and it still fascinates me. But I think that was like that would be a contrived error these days.
I thought you were going to say the Kerp of Aqua bubblegum card.
Yeah, that's a good one too. But hey, man, card probably got some people collecting, which I think is important. But
You know what rookie card got noticed as a rookie card before it? Like everyone always, and I agree. I always say the '84 Donruss Mattingly was the start of the rookie craze, you know.
yep,
But I remember when I started collecting in '79, the Bob Horner rookie. People were
yeah,
talking crazy stuff about that Bob. Remember that the
it's a good
Bob Horner
point.
rookie?
Yep, it's a good point.
What about
Uh,
Alvin Davis? He should have a card on the Hall of Fame.
Now we're getting
let me
crazy.
let me ask you a question here, Ray. Other than rookie cards, are there any multiplayer non-rookie cards in there, like Manager's Dream or the 53 Bowman Color Mantle
No,
Barra?
you mean like a collab? I call it a collab card.
Yeah,
No, but that's a great. I mean,
World
people over
Series
the
foe.
weekend.
World Series foe should totally be on there.
right.
Mantle and
Great
Aaron.
idea. Yeah.
And I have
Manager's
another
Dream
one.
that was the one that got suggested to me over the weekend was manager that
Yeah.
everybody loves the Manager's Dream card, but there's so many. That's a great idea of those
I'm
collab
partial.
cards.
Yeah, I'm partial to the 53 Bowman is where,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, that's kind of where that started, and that was, there's a Billy Martin and Phil Rizzuto one. There's a Mantle Barra. Is it Bauer? I guess Bauer's in there.
Yeah.
And I have another interesting card that I talk about every now and then. It's the 1929 34-1 exhibits, and there's one with Ruth Gehrig, and it's Leo DeRocher's rookie card, which is pretty interesting. DeRocher, I think, roomed with Ruth, but it also has Mark Koenig, I think. But that's a multiplayer card, but it's also, it's DeRocher's rookie card, and it's got Ruth and Gehrig on it as well. So, yeah, it's some of my oddball stuff there.
Late 50. I'd like to see. I think the Fence Busters was like one of the first ones,
Yeah.
and the Bucks one, the ones with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Like,
Fence Busters was Matthews and Aaron.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
59, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be fun to see that. I mean, it's like some of
Yeah,
these
I
cards.
got that mentioned to me from a couple people on the weekend, and the one that was brought up was the Manager's Dream was brought up a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Ray, when John speaks something into existence, it's gospel. Like, so
True.
he said that. That's got to be on next year. Like,
Okay.
well, Ray, thanks for doing this. I really hope
Yeah.
people out there participate in this. Go make your ballot. It'll be as easy as looking in the description, clicking on it, picking 10 cards that you think are iconic in the hobby and have a great history in the hobby. Put your votes out there. It'll matter. Ray will count them up, and we'll see which 10 get in. When does balloting end, Ray, for everybody?
Ballot ends Monday, May 13th, so there's still a decent amount of time left, and then the induction video will be May 15th, 2 days later.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right, John. Cool. What happens in Vegas stays there, so don't do anything
Gotcha.
crazy.
Copy that, man. I'm gonna head right over there and go to bed, man. I'm already tired. So.
All right. Well, thanks, Ray, for doing this.
Thanks for having me on.
Would love to hear what you guys think down below. We'll talk to you soon. Stay tuned next week for another episode of Hobby Think Tank. We'll see you guys soon. Keep collecting.